us tips on keeping our motivation up and inspiring us to participate in the game of life and to pursue goals that interest us. Please welcome Larry Hipp.
Madam Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, honored guests. Today I'm going to speak to you on the subject of how to get motivated. If you have the technology of how to do something, and you can do it, and you use it, you cannot be the adverse effect of it. To accomplish your goals and realize your purposes, you must have a personal drive and engage in active doing. Success, therefore, requires that we have a personal incentive, initiative, and motivation. Back when I was in my 20s, I had a girlfriend who wrote me a poem. And that poem was entitled The River of Life. And in this poem, I was depicted as this person who was sitting on the side of the river of life, dangling my toes in the water, but refusing to jump in. And this was an accurate depiction of me, and actually lived the majority of my life in that kind of a viewpoint. I was kind of avoiding life, avoiding problems, trying to keep myself out of trouble. This chart here comes from my icebreaker speech, and these 5 items are the 5 ways in which a human being can react to a source of danger. They're also the 5 courses of action that we can take on any given problem. Attack, flee, avoid, neglect, succumb. Attack, I hope to show, is the effective one. This is the one I'm going to encourage you guys to use in solving your problems. I wanted to talk about life as a game for just a second. All games have 3 basic components. Those are freedoms, barriers, and purposes. For an optimum game, a game that you would really like to play, a game that would have your interest, it requires that the barriers and the freedoms are evenly matched. For instance, if you were going to play chess and you chose as your only partners Bobby Fischer and Boris Spassky, you would never win. You'd soon go into apathy and want to quit the game. Basically, the reason that I kind of hovered, especially in these 3 areas here in my approach to problems, I wasn't really playing a game of life. I was kind of trying to not lose, but not really risk winning. So let's see, I'm kind of losing my train of thought here. Well, anyway, maybe it'll come to me. I was going to tell you a little story about my sister. She worked all of her life, never got married. She was pretty successful. She retired with tons of money in the bank to Toledo, Ohio. She was later found on the floor of her house suffering from alcohol-induced neuropathy. So, yeah, my thoughts coming back now. The thing about the barriers. Yeah, if the barriers are too high, you lose interest in the game of life because you feel you can't win. This is why a lot of people go to drugs or alcohol. They say, what's the use? The only joy I can get in life is chemically induced. On the other hand, if you say you were playing chess again and you were playing with a little kid where you could never lose, now you have too much freedom. And you'll also lose interest in the game. And those people too, that was my sister's problem, and those people too will resort to alcohol or drugs, something like that. So it's very important to keep that personal interest, that personal drive, and engage in active doing. Production is the basis of morale. You can write that one down. Production is the basis of morale. Very important. How many of you guys are football fans? Okay, good. For those of you who aren't football fans, the Cleveland Browns were just about down here to number 5. Succumb. They had just lost 11 games in a row, 12 games in their own division. Had they lost to the Cincinnati Bengals on Sunday, they would have set a new record for futility, a new record for consecutive losses. When Pat Shurmur talked to the team after the game, which they won, by the way, you would have thought they won the Super Bowl the way they were acting. He spoke to them about how they felt. And he mentioned to them that this is life. This is why we play the game. So, the point there being that they did have production. Production in the National Football League is winning games. So what can we do as human beings when we find ourselves in the lower bracket here? We need to, first of all, if our energy is low, one good thing to do is to go out and help somebody. At least get into action. Take a walk, cut the grass, do something. This tends to pick your morale up so that you have more energy to engage in pursuing your goals. Toastmasters, too, kind of like football. In football, you got all, the quarterback has a role, the linemen have a role, the running backs have a role, the wide receivers have a role. Everybody has a different role on the team. Just like here, we got a Toastmaster, we got a speaker, we got Eric Graves evaluating. Everybody's doing something. So it gives us an opportunity to pursue our goals. Things that we're not too good at, we want to improve, this is our chance to do it. And other people help us. I have a mentor. I'll be a mentor for somebody else at some point, so Bob, I encourage you to join. We'd like to have you on our team. So here's another thing you can do. You write your goals down, and next to your goals you write your problems or the barriers that are keeping you from achieving those goals. And here's another interesting thing. You write another column, and in that one you write what you're going to do about every one of those problems. When you do that, it puts you up here to number 1. So that you're at cause over your goals and achieving them. Marianne and I went to a friend's memorial service, and they had a little poem there that had to do with the tombstone. Died, born 1948 died 2012. Well, that dash represents for each one of us when our time comes how we played the game of life. That dash is either going to represent for us that we were players in the game of life or just spectators. It's going to represent for us, were we some guy sitting by the side of the river dangling our toes in the river of life, or did we jump in and play the game? The choice is yours. Madam Toastmaster.